Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is Ben Parks, 225 Marathon, and today we're going to chat all things long runs. Are you getting tired on your long runs? Are you dreading your long runs? Are you quitting some of your long runs? Well, I've got 5 key principles coming up and they're really not the ones that you think they might be. So sit back, relax, let's get long runs done. So the first thing I want to have a chat about is getting the pacing right on your long runs. The big mistake I see people doing here is they go out at one pace and generally fade towards the end of it as they get a little bit tired. Now what we really like to suggest is splitting your run up into various different blocks. So it might be 3 miles easy, 3 miles marathon pace, 3 miles easy, 3 miles marathon pace. I'm going to put 2 different ideas up on the screen now for 2 different 20-mile runs. Breaking the runs up like this keeps it interesting, it keeps it fun. Your brain can just concentrate on that short little period at any one time, just a lot more manageable, and it also gives us nice little breaks during the run where we work on our fueling. Myself and all the people we coach have had so much success with this style of long run over the years, and it's also what we put into our own training plans, which we have onto our website, and we'll link to those down below if you want to check them out. We've also got a pacing chart, we'll link to that down below. It's a completely free download from the website. It will just help you gauge what your easy pace, what your marathon pace will be for all sorts of various goals. So go and download that, the link is down below. Fueling is a really big Achilles heel for so many runners. The classic mistake we see people make is they wait till they get tired before they start fueling. The key with this is to start fueling early and often as well. For most runners, this is going to be around about 40 to 60 grams of carbohydrates per hour that you're out running. A typical gel, the most common gel really on the market these days, Morton, is around 25, well it's not around, it is 25 grams of carbs, and I like to be taking in 2 of those per hour. So from 30 minutes into my run, then an hour and 30, 2 hours, I'll be taking one of those Morton gels to keep my energy levels topped up all the way through. It's so important to be doing this on all of your long runs so you don't fatigue as it goes on, and you can also set up alerts on your watch. Garmin and Coros do this, so it can bleep and go off and give you a reminder to eat every however long you program in. So for me, I put 30 minutes into the watch. As with all nutrition things, everyone is going to be slightly different. Practice on all of your long runs. Try with a few different brands, see what works well for you and what sits in your stomach okay and doesn't give you any digestion issues. Moving on is one of my favorites just because I love maps, but it's essentially making sure you know exactly where you're going before you go out on your run. Getting lost on your run, getting your phone out to look at maps every 5 minutes because you don't know where you're going will just completely break the whole flow of your run and you'll lose motivation and interest in it very, very quickly. So what I suggest is getting onto Strava heat maps. If you've got a Garmin, use Garmin's version as well because that's free if you've got a Garmin, and you can plan out exactly where you're going. I'm always looking for canal towpaths or disused railway lines. We have a lot of those around the UK, and you can tend to be able to run along those for long periods of time, and they're traffic free and very safe, and you've just got a few other walkers around. Another tip is to do something just like an out and back run. Say you've got 20 miles to do, you can just do 10 miles out and then turn around and run 10 miles back, and you'll hopefully remember where you've gone. You can also make a GPX file and upload that to your Garmin or your Coros watch, and you can follow that along with the mapping functionality as well. It just makes the whole run flow so much better because there's nothing more annoying than having to go out your phone and check where you're going all the time. Now a lot of people do ask me, is it okay to stop every now and then? Of course it's fine to stop, take a little bit of fuel, but you don't want to stop too much. It just breaks up that whole flow and you want to kind of keep moving as much as you can. So it's so important when we start our run to be doing a dynamic warm-up and ease into our run very gradually as well. So lots of opening and closing the gates like this, lots of leg swings. We'll link to my complete follow-along warm-up guide. We'll link to that down below and up at the top of the screen and follow it along. It's so important for all runners, but especially as we age and we get a little bit older and our muscles are a little bit sore, a little bit tighter, to get them nicely warmed up before we go charging out the gate off to our goal paces for the runs. So I'd also say, as well as the dynamic warm-up, those first couple of Ks, those first couple of miles, keep them very, very slow, very, very nice and relaxed. Hydration is such a key point with running, and the general rule is during races and when we're out training as well, it's just little and often and drink to thirst. If you're feeling thirsty, then have something to drink. As a very rough guide, we're probably talking about 400 to 800 millilitres an hour, as long as the conditions aren't sort of too crazy hot out there. But if it is a little bit on the hot side, you might want to consider adding some electrolytes into the mix as well, which will just help replace all the salt that we're sweating out as we run. Now, it's not always easy to carry water as we go out and about. You can get a running pack. I'll link to my favourite one down below, and you can add bottles of water in there. I normally use sometimes what's called a naked band with some soft flasks inside. Or when I'm deep into my marathon training, I like just to put out a table or just store a bottle in a bush as I'm doing loops up and down and just grab it, get it down, and then carry on with my run. Or sometimes I'm out with my girlfriend who's filming this video here on her bike, and she can give me drinks as I go around as well. Strava also does have a very useful little mapping feature where you can see water fountains and where they appear out in your city or wherever you're running as well, so you can check those out. A little bonus point here is to get yourself a running hat. Now, of course I say that. I have a running business that makes the best running hats in the world, but they really help keep you cool in the heat. They protect you from the rain, they stop sweat getting into your eyes, they keep the hair out of your face, and you just look good, feel good, you get confident, which is so important for your long runs, to be running well when you're out there feeling like you can really get out and get your long runs done. So check out my website, benparks.com, and as always you can use code YouTube to get 10% off your order. So most people that come to me with questions are always asking about shoes and asking about carbo loading before their runs, and yes, they're important, but I would argue the points we've discussed earlier on in the video are more important. But if you want some quick tips on shoes, really the most comfortable shoes for your long runs are going to be the best ones. Always go for comfort over speed for marathon running. You're normally getting blisters and issues coming up later on in the race. The most comfortable shoes for me at the moment, my Asics Super Blast or my Nike Vaporflies version 3 are my sort of two preferred race shoes. And when in terms of carbo loading before you go out the night before, yes, of course, have some extra carbohydrates in your meal, but just have your regular size portion of food. The ratio of carbohydrates should just go up and your proteins and fats should just go down slightly, so you're nicely fueled, ready for your run the next day. So hopefully there's some really good tips in there to help you out with your next long run. Let us know how you're going with your training. And yeah, if you want some tips, we've got a big video coming up next all about gels and choosing the right ones for your next long run. Keep on working hard, keep on getting done, guys, and we'll see you very soon in the next one.